online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah! We are back!
I feel like we need to bring it.
I know, you guys are not dancing over
I
here.
know.
I'm not doing anything.
Alright, it's fine. We are back. We are AfterBuzz TV doing our Shark Tank weekly after show. It is season 7, episode 9.
How many episodes are there?
9
Good
already.
God.
I don't 20.
At least 37.
7, 8.
No, really?
12.
17?
No.
Sorry, what'd you say? How many episodes are
We're already at 9.
17. Oh.
No, I don't know.
Japanese.
I think maybe
there's like 20.
I think there's
22.
20 or... Yeah.
There's not.
There are several episodes in a season.
Anyway, we're almost halfway through the season. We are here. I am Stef Z. You can tweet along to me at IAMSTEFZ. And to my left is the handsome, the stud muffin. He gets around. His name is...
The only camshaft Twitter and Instagram. I'm Cameron Lewis. This is now. Let's see if you remember your Twitter handle this week.
I know.
And your name.
Something no one would remember. I'm Zoe Hewitt, and if you weren't watching last week, I had a huge brain glitch. But you can find me at Twitter, on Twitter and Instagram at Zoe Said What. That ZOE Said What.
And I'm Guy David. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Guy David 86. I think it's the growth, personally, that's changed you. I do.
Anyway.
And also the facial hair.
Anyways. Most successful bachelor.
Oh, jeez, Louise, you guys.
I think we should actually do a date with you.
I was going to say, people come right in.
On the Shark Tank after show.
Might get somebody smart.
See if they're in or out.
All right. Anyway, let's get started. Our first pitch is John with the Advanced Sport Technology. He wanted $160,000 for 10% bubble soccer. What
soccer.
do you guys think of bubble soccer?
Did anybody think that the Sharks laughed too much?
I kind of was. I'm with you. I feel like there was edit after edit of laughing.
It was like one guy gets in a bubble and they're like, ah! Like all 4 of them.
Right,
all 5 of them.
but you gotta understand, there's some crazy phenomenon that happens when you see somebody else eat shit. Like that is why there's a show called Wipeout.
I love Wipeout.
That is why this exists, because no matter what, if you see somebody fall, usually laugh. Why? Why does that happen?
Okay, I don't.
What?
Sorry. I know, I had to jump in there.
Do you cry? Do you run over? Do you need help? Do you run away? What do you do, Zoe?
So if you see someone walk into a pole and fall low, you won't laugh?
No.
Yes, you will.
No.
Everyone does. If I turned around and went bang,
No.
that's laughter.
Not funny. However, I think the soccer thing looks like fun. So I don't think it's laughing like walking
What makes
into a
you
pole.
laugh?
Like, I think it looks like fun to just like boing, boing. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah, that's a fair.
I want to play this so badly, by the way.
I
looks
will
so much
definitely
fun.
not play because I will be the one person that gets hurt. It looks so much fun. I have, however, I have been in one of those before.
Oh.
There's these Zorb balls.
Zorbs, yeah.
The big Zorb balls, which are very similar, except your legs don't really hang out. You go like in it. And we had them out of Burning Man when I went, and you just kind of hang out in them. So they're really, really cool. So I could actually, figure out what
How do you move around?
You just move in the
just run.
inside.
You just crawl
kinda
around.
Like a hamster
Like a
thing.
hamster.
It's like a hamster ball, yeah.
Okay.
That's cool too.
The closest thing to
cool.
this I've ever done was those big sumo suits.
You've
Yeah.
done them?
That yeah.
I wanted to have a party and have one of them. Like you can hire them. I looked it up.
It's impossible to not just. I would laugh like the Sharks were laughing.
You guys,
I'm that girl. I am
see
like
you in
a
a sumo
kid.
thing.
It's
you
fun,
guys have
man.
so much
It is
fun.
so
I haven't
fun.
done any of these things.
We should bring some in here.
Well, maybe if you did, you'd laugh at stuff
Exactly.
like that. Maybe you need to loosen up a little bit. We're getting you in the bubble soccer.
I think I would laugh. I'm just saying I don't laugh when people get hurt. There's a difference.
It's
yeah,
not
well,
like
no, you've
people
got that
get
wrong.
hurt.
The example was walking into a pole.
So what if I laughed at you, I leapt back and I fell off my chair? You wouldn't laugh. I'm guarantee everyone would laugh. You just sit there like this.
It depends.
You'd be like, oh God, you messed up your hair.
Depends on how many bones we hear break.
You'd laugh
As long
anyway.
as you're okay, we'll laugh.
No, it's laugh.
If I was dead, you'd have a chuckle at my funeral.
I don't know that that's 100% true.
I mean,
Depends on your haircut.
they would have time to make it perfect. Just kidding.
Oh, God.
It's getting dark tonight.
Anyway, so pretty much, I thought it was very, very funny that the Sharks tried it, and you get you get Robert and Damon and Mark, and it was kind of like they both wanted to get Mark, and Mark kind of went flying first,
Yeah.
and then they each got kind of knocked out hard once each. You saw each of them go flying, which I thought was funny. But again, I kind of agree with Kim. It wasn't as funny as maybe they were laughing.
Yeah, I think they borrowed some laughs from other episodes. It's like, I understand there's laughter, but there was like a 30-second period of time where they just kept intercutting to everybody. And it was just like, go on, and like nothing was happening.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know that what my theory is. I did not notice the extra laughing, but I've mentioned before that I feel like there's maybe tension between some of the sharks, that it could be just a little bit of that, like, ha, glad you got hit.
Oh, you think it's a
So maybe they really
I didn't see that sort of
But they were
laughter.
laughing before they got in the suits. They were laughing at the other people doing it. Were they not? Was I the only
No,
one?
they were laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were laughing beforehand, so I think
they laughed the whole time. I'm just saying
Yeah.
this is maybe a theory for why
Yeah.
like,
It's
Kim thinks
possible.
they laughed extra
Yeah.
hard.
No, I
possible.
get it.
Did you guys then the pitch went down for you guys too?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's somewhat of a business here, but I mean, I don't know.
Here's what I have to
think?
say.
Did you? Yeah.
The guy who came here, what's his name? John?
John.
I don't trust a guy in a shiny suit.
Very unrelatable guy.
He was kind of a.
Very didn't like him at all. Yeah.
You know, I just don't
Did you
like.
not agree? Did you not agree, Zoe? You liked
No,
him?
I know, I'm nodding, so everyone who's watching can see that. Because I feel a little torn, because I was thinking about this earlier. Like, when we talk, you know, people are, like, that guy could be listening to us, and he's a real person, and so I'm scared, like, I feel bad to say something, but at the same time,
you're
I will
on
say...
TV. You got to be
felt like-
objective.
I felt like he was a little, like, smarmy. Like, I felt
He was a little
gross.
cocky.
Did he remind anyone of a used car salesman?
Yes, and that's what I
Yes.
mean.
That's
Like,
it.
it just...
And this is all I'm saying. The shiny suit thing. Yeah, it gets to me. Not because.
I don't understand the shiny suit.
So if
No,
I
I
see
do.
somebody in a shiny suit, I think they don't need my money.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
If
I've
it came
never
in
in my
just a
life thought
regular,
that.
flat,
He had the
it's
shiny
not even-
suit and the slick back hair.
it's like if you sell a used car. Say you're selling your 2000 Camry, and the guy pulls up from Craigslist, and you're wearing a tuxedo. You're gonna get
Anyone
bottom
can
dollar for
leave.
that car because you don't need the money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I feel the same way. I feel like for me too, it was like
right.
he didn't know his numbers. We got a little buzz. Sorry about that, guys. So we're gonna take our headphones off in our ears. He didn't know his numbers. I feel like he didn't answer anything directly, and he was kind of cocky. Like, you know, like I get when people don't get a deal when they leave, they're like, oh, they're gonna regret this, blah blah blah. But it was with almost aggression that he was saying this, which made me feel like you have an opportunity, like you're on Shark Tank, period. That's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to sell. The Sharks gave him somewhat good advice. He has a good thing going here. So for me, it was almost a little entitled. No disrespect. That's a lot
No,
of
and
people's
the
business strategy
and the
to act that
yeah.
way. And you have to have somewhat of that as a strategy to be a successful business person. But I think for me, it was a little too much.
And the Sharks always look at like their first impressions of people and what they're like because they're investing in them. They want to
Right.
know they can trust him. He just looked completely untrustworthy to me.
Right. And you see that sometimes that when the pitch isn't all there, if the people are all there, they get a deal anyway because you can teach them
Right.
stuff.
Yep.
Like you can't teach. I feel like that's a lot in business, and you know, same with athletics and stuff. It's like you can't teach those basic fundamental things. You either have them or you don't. If you kind of have a bad attitude, that's hard to coach.
I still didn't understand the whole thing. How there's the leagues, but he's got to sell it to the leagues,
And the
so it's
subscription.
just,
I
think-
agree with. Was it Lori that said that it's just very confusing?
Yeah.
I completely agree with that.
I
'Cause
love-
there's so many different facets of this business.
I just thought he was going to sell it in like a package, and you blow it up, and you start hitting each other.
right.
I thought it was
How
that
much the
simple.
cost of this thing?
That's I didn't get either.
Was anybody else shocked by this? I mean, he said $4,000 to $16,000. Now this is for packages.
Right.
It cost them $150 to $160 per ball to make. I thought this was going to be tops $100 per consumer.
So did I.
Yeah.
And I know
said
that's
16,000?
probably unrealistic. Yeah, for
But
some
that's like-
package.
You can
I
buy a
feel
good car for that.
Yeah, but I feel like that's what they do is how I understood it was for $16,000 they'll sell. Do you guys know what like AYSO is, like the soccer leagues or whatever, like the
Sure. Right,
pre-existing
he's
leagues?
funding a league.
He's gonna
Yeah.
sell it to them so that AYSO now can have this bubble soccer, and then parents will pay for their kids to sign up and go play, and they'll give them all the stuff to play.
Yeah.
It's like I understood that part of it,
Right.
but I don't. I think he would be successful if he had the consumer one too, so that like all four of us could go get in these things and run into each other and
Right
fall
around the
over.
studio here.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be fun.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like, right, a gym goes out and buys the equipment, they buy the treadmill and put it in the gym and then sell other people memberships. And that's what this is essentially. Like, he wasn't selling it to consumers, he was selling it, right, to make a league. And I thought that's actually why the Sharks had a problem, because they felt like the financing, like his financial end only went so far, because once the leagues had them, that's when they were doing the parties. He wasn't getting money from parties.
And he was saying weird
Yeah.
stuff too. What was he talking about? I've forgotten what he said. The cash flow, the something cash flow,
I don't remember.
when Kevin was just started laughing at him. Like, what are you talking about?
I remember what you're saying. I don't remember the exact word that they used, but I feel like that. And then he tried to change it into being like a tech thing.
That was so
Oh, yeah,
odd when
that-
he had never mentioned
We have a
tech.
great-
Where did
See,
that
I think
come
there's
from?
two kinds of people. This is kind of what you were saying in the Shark Tank. Whenever a deal starts going this way, you either get hungrier and prove yourself, or it's the people who are like, nah, you guys are wrong.
He was just an
And I think
unrelatable
that
guy.
he was one of these guys.
Yeah. But a smart guy with a good
Completely
business,
smart.
you know. And again, too, you also like we do get harsh sometimes with people. You got to understand. I'm sure that pressure is something that we have not experienced, but
Oh,
in the same
sure.
sense, like that's what kind of sometimes makes or breaks good businesses and growth and success. So, but I feel like there's a place for this. I feel like people will buy it. I feel like people will play with it. I mean, he's going to do $430,000 this year. It's fine. It's great. I just think we were all kind of on the same page that we thought the business plan would look different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It would have
I
looked
was
different.
excited about maybe buying it at the beginning when I heard the pitch.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm not going to blow this up. I'm going to go buy this and have parties
Yeah.
with
Well, I
drinks
feel
and
like-
us banging each other
In your
with,
two-bedroom apartment.
with my dogs.
Well, but I feel like in the same sense, that might have been a better pitch if this was something to do at either kids' birthday parties. Like, parents spend a lot of money on kids' birthday parties. You know, instead of having the clown and the guy that blows up balloon animals and whatever, like now kids have the trampolines, they have all this stuff. And to have something
Yeah.
like this,
I think it's a confusing business model. I understand how it works, but I still think it's a confusing business model because you're not doing exclusively the parties, you're not doing it exclusively for at home,
Right.
and you're also not controlling the league for the sport. There's other leagues you're working with, and you're licensing to them or whatever. You're selling directly to them, but you're still not controlling the league, and so it's kind of this weird. Only selling to 30, 40 organizations that want to even do it. I
didn't get it.
Very odd.
Yeah.
And I think that convolutes it at the end of the day.
I think he needs to make money off of the parties. That to me is his big weak
That
point.
didn't seem like very much, did it? Even the franchise is $30 or $300 to $500. It's not that much.
No.
It's like, if you imagine there's 12 people on each team playing these things,
Yeah.
you know.
all right. Anything else about Bubbles? He does not get a deal. Everybody goes out. I mean, for I think kind of all the reasons we've just talked about.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you guys want to say about bubble soccer before we move on?
I think that's it.
It would be fun. I do think.
I really do want to play it.
Yeah.
Can I buy something else like that, similar?
Zorbo.
You can
Zorbo.
buy a yoga ball.
It's not
So we
similar.
can kick around a
No, you
football.
can't climb in a yoga ball.
Well, you can tie it around your waist.
You
or
could just
something.
strap two around you, big duct tape. Get in the middle of two yoga balls, and me and Cameron will like
There
tape
we
you
go.
up, and then Zoe will push you over.
That's what
Call
we
it
should
a
be
day.
doing. Or like, what do you call the little...
She's laughing.
Floaties.
She was laughing.
How's she like? That's the most unamusing thing you've ever said, and she's laughing at it.
No, because it's
Snap.
different if everyone's laughing at, like, if you'd be laughing as we pushed you over. It's different than, like, you're not laughing as you walk into a pole, like, in your
You have a weird
analogy.
sense of humor.
Probably, yes.
But I like it.
Thank you.
But you're weird.
I know.
All right, sweet. So now we move on to Brazy bites. Am I saying that right?
Brazy.
Brazy?
Hell yeah.
Which I thought it was Brazil. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, Brazy bite. Okay,
Yeah.
there it is. They want
There it is.
$200,000 for 10%. We had Cameron and Junior. How do we Junior? Junior. So these were pretty much.
I forgot the guy's name was Cameron for a second. I was like, shit, I went to the Shark Tank. I forgot about it.
It gave me the weirdest look.
Holy crap. That's right. It's
like,
Cameron.
why are you talking to me, Steph?
He's not allowed to look at me anymore.
I know. So what you guys think about these?
I want to eat them so much.
I love bread balls.
Yes.
You know what they reminded? This is so weird, but they reminded me as I was a kid at lunch in elementary school. I would take the bread off my sandwiches and just put it into a ball. Why is that gross? It's the same thing.
You just fold it up?
I would just fold it up.
No, but this has got cheese in
It was a bread ball, and I would eat it, and I would love it.
This has got cheese in it.
Your sandwich with? Just slap the meat in.
So one of my favourite restaurants in Orange County has these things because it's a Brazilian steakhouse.
one?
These are common in Brazil.
Right.
And they are the most delicious things in the world. I go there and just order a salad because it's expensive and just eat these things the whole time. Literally, I'm one of those tight-ass people that do that.
I love it.
It's like garlic knots for Brazilian
they
food.
bring them out endlessly. So these things are around. They're common in Brazil and they are delicious.
Really?
Oh.
They looked delicious.
They look good.
They're like amazing.
Love me a bread ball.
We need to find them.
2 friends actually randomly text me, never text me, saying, "Are you going to have these guys in here?" Because I'm going to be jealous if you get to eat them.
You know,
Wow.
we should check. They're in Oregon, though, I believe, because I tweeted them before, and I went to their page because I was like, maybe it'll say where we can buy them.
But they said
Maybe you
they
can-
said they were in
Oregon.
Whole Foods and
They
something,
are,
right?
but yeah.
Maybe
but
you
I
might
should
have to
check
go
my local.
hunting.
I know.
Can you surprise us again? Said the vinegar. Maybe bring these.
Yeah.
And if we can't find them, I'm happy to roll up some Wonder Bread for you.
Sweet. Keeping it real.
So gross.
I don't understand why that grosses you out.
I don't understand how it doesn't gross you
You
out.
just take 2 slices and you
I
roll
know
it up.
what you're talking about. I've seen people. It's
It's kind of not the same because
Yeah,
what you're
thank you.
talking
I know
about
it's
is
not the
like
same.
matted down, squished bread.
It's like crust.
Rather than
know.
this nice, fluffy.
cheese.
And this has
filled-
cheese in it.
know.
That's the best bit about it.
I can put cheese into Wonder Bread balls. I understand they're different.
So what you're saying is grilled cheese balls,
Oh, I love grilled cheese. It's just.
right? There it is.
grilled cheese balls. I'm gonna write that down.
All right, so we've got Damon. He comes out and it's kind of like, you know, what do you guys think about all these deals? Damon's like, where do I add value? And for me, like, I really, really thought that he was going to go with Damon because of exactly what he talked about, Bubba's boneless ribs. I really thought Damon had the experience. I also think maybe it's because when we had talked to Damon, he was saying how he wanted to add more
I was
food
gonna
to his
mention that.
portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. And then
right.
I just didn't see everyone coming in with this one. I didn't see Mr. Wonderful given a straight deal and not like I get, you know, $1 off every freaking bread.
He went
stuff
down to
puff.
12.5% in the end.
I did not see him doing this one. Maybe he
No.
wants to drop it in some glasses of wine or something. Because of all the wine businesses he has. and
Maybe
stuff. I have no
that's. But
idea.
yeah, cheese and
But
wine, not bread and wine.
That's true.
Well, it's cheese bread.
Cheesy bread.
Cheesy bread balls.
Now that would be cool if you had a cheese, one of these cheese breads with a little bit of wine in it.
Or
Just
maybe,
take a needle and inject it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
maybe,
that's a fantastic
maybe good on a
idea.
hangover day. Cheese balls and water.
Cheese balls and water. Throw some pizza in there. You got yourself a
Yeah, that's pizza.
hangover cure.
Yeah.
I agree with them not going with Damon. What did he do? The deal at $200,000 for 25%. He later lowered it to 20%. And I kind of agreed with this. I get his idea of kind of partnering with Bubba's Barbecue, making that kind of a twofer, but my only concern with that as a business owner would be kind of being in their shadow. You know, because I think this is a standalone.
Right,
It
but
is.
in the same sense, it's like you find out Damon has all the knowledge of shipping the freezed, ready to cook. So,
That
like
is true.
there's hurdles and stuff and knowledge with that. But
That is
and the
true.
thing with Lori, what she eventually winds up taking a deal with for $200,000 for 16.5%, is she's got the Bantam bagels. I
Yeah.
kind of didn't agree that it's not competing. What do you?
I thought
did.
the same thing. Are we all on board with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought this is like
Just to-
definitely.
yeah.
I mean, like if you're talking about being in somebody's shadow, that's
Yeah.
way more.
Yeah.
They had their mind set on Laurie the whole time.
They really did. What did you
Yeah.
guys think about when they dropped the bomb about the co-packer?
I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50-50
50,
partnership.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
by the way, I've never I don't know that much about it per se, but I've never heard of a co-packer taking this big of a stake.
Right, but in the same sense, you got, I mean, at the end, it also came out that that was a good deal for them to do, and they were happy about that. So if the co-packer, if they didn't have a lot of money, and the co-packer funds and packs all this stuff,
That's true.
Was it a co-packer that funded it? Wasn't it some guy that gave them the money for the equipment, and then eventually they're now transitioning to a co-packer so they can sell back?
The equipment.
Wasn't that
right?
it?
But I think the co-packer thing is just now going on.
Yeah, now
I think that's now.
But he's not the guy that owns 50% of the.
No, he is.
He is?
The co-packer is the one.
The co-packer, the
that's
company
interesting.
also had debt, which I think was what you were talking about. They said that they had some
and they're going to
debt.
sell the equipment back because they've got this co-packer.
Because now they have the co-packers, so they won't be in debt anymore, but they only have 50% of the company.
I can't believe that came out at the end, unless it was edited.
I'm sure it was edited.
Yeah.
I just feel like they were giving away such a huge percentage now of their business. I mean, so now they've got barely anything. They're not controlling it. The co-packer is.
What
Right,
does
but
that
in
make
50%
What
right
does that
there.
put him at then? What is it?
Right, so they've got,
33 and a half. Is that right?
50 minus 16 and a half.
33 and a half.
33 and a half.
But it can't. But maybe the co-packer loses some of the equity too.
Does
Well,
it work that way?
I don't think so.
I have
think
no
so.
idea.
Yeah, how can you sell someone else's equity?
But they might have spoken
Unless
about that
they
before
agree.
they came
Yeah.
on.
Unless it's
But in the same
Possible.
sense, would you rather have 33
Because they lose control.
Right,
No,
but
lose control, right?
Well, but the co-packer also, they could have 50% of the profits and 50% share, but no vote or seat on a board or whatever. So there's a way to work that out. But in the same sense, would you rather have 33.5% of something that sells millions and millions of dollars, or 51% of something that sells, 200,000?
I agree. I'm totally okay with 33.5%.
No, but this is like the soap people from, was it last week, the week before, who in their original business
Gave
had sold
away.
off too much of the equity in their original business. So,
Right.
although I agree, sure, I'd rather have 33% of millions of dollars. In theory, in reality, it could wind up that you get bumped out, or they want to sell or do something.
If
that
they
you
do
don't
well,
agree
that
with.
equity will get diluted more, right?
I do think this is more of a proven concept with a little bit larger of a market, though. The soap thing, I feel like it was a bit of a harder sell.
Why?
This will do very well.
Because it seems more specific, a little bit more niche. I mean, the gluten-free market is definitely not one that everybody buys into. But this, in my opinion, this is something that I would also go out and get, even though I don't seek out gluten-free
Me too.
foods.
Because they
and
all
so,
said it was delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think it may be a little bit more appealing. But it is interesting because it's a gamble either way.
You know what I thought was interesting? When Lori was going for it, she asked him to tell the one difference between Bantam bagels and what makes this different. And Lori was looking for a very specific answer, which was the gluten-free thing. So I feel like when they said that was the correct answer,
She was sold on that.
She was sold. Yeah.
I think she needed an excuse, is more what it was.
Yeah.
She was looking for an
Yeah,
excuse to take them on. And I do feel like they compete, even so.
Does anyone feel like Mr. Wonderful just doesn't try?
He hasn't made a lot of deals lately.
And he just, when he does make a deal, he doesn't even argue anything. He just sort of arrogantly, which he has a right to be, sits there. And then he hasn't got the deals lately because he hasn't made a push to try and say what value he is to it.
Yeah.
Like the others have. Does
agree.
anyone feel that or
Yeah,
not?
no, I
that's
think I do
interesting.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
agree.
I have kind of noticed that now that you mention it.
Yeah. Maybe his businesses are just doing so well. It's like,
It's possible. I
gonna
also
take
think
it.
he's so specific about what he.
When was the last deal
wants
he
to get in
made?
bed with.
He made one with all 5 of the Sharks.
Right.
He's made. Is that his
Joan.
only deal this season?
No, not this season, but
I don't even remember his last one.
I don't either,
I
to
don't
be
have to look
honest.
into it.
But so these guys get a deal with Lori. They do get and they go back and forth. Lori, they wanted 20, then they extra dropped to 15, then it was 18, then it was 16.5. And again, you risk every time you want to negotiate like that. So
Scary.
clearly Lori wanted it. Clearly they wanted it.
And
Lori-
Kevin and Damon also went out. So
Yeah.
they didn't really have an option.
That's true.
It was either deal or no deal here.
Right. And even then, they still stuck to their 16.5.
I almost wanted
Yeah.
them to lose it because they just gave Damon and Mr. Wonderful no respect at all. They didn't even say sort of thank you for the offers. They just kept focusing on Laurie the whole time. Laurie,
Right,
would
but I'm
you
sure
match
that made
Laurie?
Lori feel good too, though.
I know,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I thought
No, I
they
hear you.
needed a little more respect than that. But
Yeah. No, you're right. You're totally right. Anything else about the Brazil.
I think that's it.
Zoe, you look like you want to say something.
No, I'm looking like I really want to eat some.
All right. Same difference.
We need to go get some Whole Foods. Let's
I know,
do it.
and Sprouts.
Post-show bread ball party.
All right, so next we move on to Jonathan and Alex, the brothers that have, how do we say this, Umano,
Umano,
is that right?
Umano.
They want $150,000 for 15% of their t-shirt company. Now, pretty much what they do is they have kids draw their pictures, and they sell the t-shirts, and in return, they give back to communities by giving a backpack full of school supplies. Zoe, you are ready to speak.
I just don't understand how this isn't child labor. I mean, this is so bad. And I feel like this is asking for trouble because as soon as this becomes, I mean, already they're in Bloomingdale's, which is huge.
I don't know
but
how
as
they
soon
got
as
in
it
there.
becomes bigger, how are these kids' families not going to band together and sue them for payment?
Were you in Bloomies?
Yeah.
And Damon can't get in there.
I know, that made me feel good. That I had 2 lines in there, and he was like, I had a hard time getting
How
one.
can he not get in there?
Yeah.
I think I agree with you, Zoe. I think it's either way you could argue if it is or isn't child labor. But even that, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it is or isn't. I think it's just so close to being child labor that it's not worth the risk. It wouldn't be worth the risk for me. And in that regard, I agree with Kevin. I love what they're trying to do. They're giving back. I get it. I love the designs, but I do think there's a bit of a risk there. And more so, this is just my personal opinion. I have a hard time justifying paying $48 for a t-shirt.
Well, I thought it was all ugly.
I didn't think it was ugly.
I did not like it.
You'd actually buy it?
I would buy it, but
I would buy it because of the cause, but here's where I went with this.
Forget the cause. Just look at the clothing. You wouldn't buy it. You'd buy it just for the cause.
No, yeah. So here was my problem with it. I agree with you, Zoe. It was very hard for me to get past the kids because we once did a contest when I had my line in Saxforth Avenue, and we had people submit a photo, and that photo then translated onto a T-shirt, and it was very weird, all the things that we had to work out because that person's art was essentially something we were selling, but for them, it was like they won a chance to be co-designed on a shirt and they knew it, but it was an adult, but it was still a very weird thing. But Saks wanted to do this promotion and I felt very weird about it, so this kind of struck with me very similar to that. It would be very, very different for me if these kids were doing this and instead of a backpack, every single one of these kids that had art had money go into like a college fund or something like that. I feel like
Savings
would
bond
be
or
something, and I feel like it was very shocking to me that Mark and Lori got behind this. I feel like very, very quickly that will be rectified and changed. I feel like 'cause to have their names liable to something like that, it did not seem correct.
especially Lori.
Yeah.
I'm still confused though. Where do they get the kids from and stuff, and how they get them to do this? And
Like they'll go into a classroom and have the teachers and whoever, which again they have to probably have the kids and parents sign a waiver because they're under 18. Like there's probably a lot more to it than we heard about. And then those kids, like however many kids turn in drawings or that they like, they'll give a backpack for every single
But
one.
I feel like every successful fashion line right now gives back. I think it's sort of you have to do it these days. That's what
Yeah.
I've heard from people.
Well, I
Because it's
think
not
that more and
big
more-
a deal anymore.
Well, like that's how they were saying. More and more people want to buy stuff. They want feel-good purchases, especially for a $50 T-shirt. I mean, and again, $50 T-shirt is not. I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but that's not expensive in Bloomingdale's. Like there are T-shirts that are $70 and $80.
I didn't see this. I mean, it looks like child labour. Most lines give back. It's not anything I'd particularly wear. It's done by kids that probably don't want to do it. I didn't see this. I didn't what they're investing in.
I honestly didn't either. I feel like there was I mean, I like the hang tag with the kid on it, which again is weird exploitation in a way. But like I liked, it was very interesting to me. But I feel like there's a lot of holes in this.
Even more than child labor, and I know I used that term originally, it's more like unpaid labor that the kids aren't getting anything for it. I'm reconsidering my position. It's not that I have a problem with the child labor in terms of the kids doing the drawings. I have a problem with the kids not getting anything in return for doing the drawings when this business is clearly a business. As much as they say they want to give back to charity, they only give a $4 backpack back when they're making a lot.
Straight
so
up,
I mean,
profit is the goal.
Right.
Yeah.
So if profit's the goal and you're not paying your essentially what they're doing to me then is not paying their employees.
Who gets the backpack again? Or the lunchbox? What was it?
Kids in need. I don't think it's
they
kids
weren't
from
very
that
specific
school.
about that.
They
No,
said kids in need.
No, I agree with you. I feel like there was a lot of holes in this explanation.
But Steph, how did this get into Bloomies? Sorry, Cam.
I don't know.
They said it was the story. They said it was the
I
story
feel like
behind
every
it.
line has it. Maybe I'm wrong.
But every line doesn't have kids doing the labor.
Not every line. I think there's lines, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's lines that use it as a selling point, and then there's lines that find their success because of their design and their product, and then they do it behind the scenes.
Yep.
So I feel like a lot of companies do outreach and stuff like that as a part of their business. There was an interesting fact thrown in here, I think by Mark. He was talking about this whole thing. Millennials walk in for the product and the cause, not just the product anymore.
Yeah.
And he said an interesting statistic, or a prediction, which kind of surprised me, saying that millennials will outbuy baby boomers by 2018.
Yeah, no, that's
Which
what
is
Jonathan
crazy.
and Alex said that.
Or that was them?
Yeah, they said that.
Either way,
That doesn't make sense
that's crazy.
to me either. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
already happening.
It is happening, and it's kind of awesome if you think about it that these people do want to buy stuff for a cause. But again, I feel like there's so many causes that I don't question as much that you can get behind rather than.
Right.
And you could do this. Like, why are they just not?
That's my apprehension.
Like,
with
there's
it.
got to be. There's got to be, like, I've done charity work with this charity called Children Mending Hearts, and it's very interesting because this is also what it made me think of, and I used to donate a lot of T-shirts there, and we would have kids draw on T-shirt, like homeless and underprivileged children draw on T-shirts and stuff, and then we would bring those T-shirts to the Congo to give people there, so these kids that only feel receiving actually get what it feels to give, which I thought was awesome. But in that, no one's making money off of that.
Yeah.
So I understand involving children and their creative athletes in order to give a different child, an backpack with stuff. But I feel like there's a really big gap in this plan of something that needs to be sorted out. And like I said, with Mark and Lori on board, I feel like it will do that. But again, I don't know how many different... It's like, for me, this brand, how many... When you have a line in Bloomingdale's, the way that they buy, it's like you have to be fresh every now and then. It's like, how different can kids' drawings look so that you can sustain the freshness and the appeal and the cool niche of this brand?
Yeah, that was never really brought up, other than the time that they said in 2016 they're going to be releasing more products specifically tailored towards females, jumpers, dresses, things like that. But it was never really addressed. How does the design stay fresh? And I think that that's super important, especially
That's
if
a good
they,
point.
as they say, are saying that the business is for profit and for selling the product first, and then secondary comes.
Yeah, there's going to be, I definitely think there's a foundation and an idea here, and there's sales, and like, I understand all that, but I feel like it's almost built a little bit on quicksand, and Mark and Lori will come in and be like, wait a minute.
Yeah, the next step's going to be the hardest, right?
Figuring out, how to redo it.
The other thing, did you guys catch this that I thought was really funny? Mr. Wonderful called the business embryonic, which I thought was a great pun since it's kids' drawings. I don't know, I loved that.
Yeah.
And again, it's funny because he's always like a ball buster, but he was the first one that was like, this is child labor, this is crazy, which was very interesting how he takes a stand like that on this.
And it's unpaid labor that they're trying to, I feel like, tout as charity, but not, because they're for profit.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the gross feel of it.
Even
to
if
me.
people say it's okay, even if people say these are my drawings, I'm the parent of the kid, it's fine, you can take it, whatever, there's still something about it where it's like there's always going to be a level of risk of somebody just going, hey, no, you're not paying me. And I think
They didn't think of that at all, though. They thought they were doing a service to the kids, letting them draw on
and
clothes.
I think that it's admirable to have these types of goals.
But how do you not
certainly.
think of that?
But how do
No,
you
go-
not?
How do you not think to give the kid $1?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Something. $1 per shirt. Exactly.
I would think of it, but I
Something
really
like
don't think
that.
they did think of it.
Yeah, that's what's scary to me.
$48 a shirt.
Yeah.
See, but that's kind of like, and they're not really making that much money. If their cost is $7, they do a backpack at $4, that's $11. It's $48 retail. So they're wholesaling that probably for $17. Between $17 and
their margin's low.
$21. Well,
Yeah.
because for Bloomingdale's, it's 2.2 markup.
Is it?
Yep. So we
Yeah,
sold them
inside
our
knowledge.
shirts.
So-
We sold them our shirts for $32, and they sold for $80.
So they have like a 30% margin or something.
You signed a shirt for me.
Yeah, it's literally
That's a good
2.2
margin. Mr. Wonderful to love that.
Yeah. Well, but that's what it is. It's their margin though. It's Bloomingdale's
Right,
margin. It's the
right.
store. That's why I have such a hard time buying clothes now, because I'm like, yeah, okay, I see $50 on that. I'm like, I know that cost somebody $6 to
Yeah,
make.
that would scar
Were you
you.
guys surprised that, before we move on really fast, were you guys surprised that Bloomingdale's seemed to be the focus and not online sales for this?
Yeah, Damon made it the focus. Or they did. No.
I think because it was so impressive to be in there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which is,
Because I don't know many millennials that shop at Bloomingdale's. That's my only...
I don't think I've ever shopped there.
Yeah. I don't know.
Everyone's-
Just a thought.
No, it's valid.
Yeah.
Valid.
Just a thought.
yeah, I mean, I feel like it was just because Damon put his 2 cents in that he has
Said
a
it
hard
was-
time getting in there. And it's like, once...
Which we just found out's rubbish. Or weird.
Right.
Guy that worth 350 million and Steph's just
Well,
walks
I
in and gets in.
No, I
Your
thought he
line
said
is
he's in
successful,
there.
but he's
Yeah.
he's
I thought he said
big.
he's in there. It just took him a
He just has
lot of
one-
work.
He's
Took him
got
hard.
one
It took a lot of work. he
line in
said.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was impressed that they managed to get in there.
He emphasized that too.
Well, and we did Bloomingdale's. We did Neiman Marcus, Saks, then Bloomies, and then Nordstrom after that.
But you had the big boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the big ones. But anyway, yeah, so they wind up getting a deal. And it's funny because, again, it was odd for me to see that Mark really liked this because he's not a clothing guy. And he literally was like, I'll do this and I'm okay with Damon or Lori coming in because I don't really know what I add.
He does some weird
FOMO.
deals sometimes. Mark.
FOMO deals.
Fear of missing out.
Mark is the king of the FOMO deals.
I was like, what is a FOMO?
Yeah,
Fear of missing out.
He does those more than any shark.
Yeah.
Is that some hip term? I don't know.
Yeah.
I probably just made it up.
Fear
No,
missing
I know.
out.
I'm a
no?
trendsetter, Zoe. What can I say?
I know.
I roll my bread into
Do not
balls.
claim that.
I know.
Yeah, just like you were trying to claim, oh yeah.
Do not
Oh,
claim that.
yeah.
I thought you did. That was
know.
one I thought you
It's the
had.
most absurd thing I've ever heard you say, God, David.
So Lori offers 150 at 25%. Damon offers 150 at 33.5.
Yeah.
And so hard to get into Bloomies. He says he has the connections. And then Mark comes in and offers 150 at 20% and says, I'm open to either one of you joining in. And Lori said, I'll do that deal. So $75,000 for each of them for 10%. That's a good deal, I think.
I
Probably
know
was
it's 13
FOMO.
and a third more, but I would have gone Damon.
Me too.
Yeah.
I probably
Yeah.
want Damon too.
would've
He's got
gone
all the
Damon.
manufacturing.
He knows.
He
And I
knows.
sort
Yeah.
of like the fact he owns a third of it. You feel like you're more connected with him in some
Yeah,
way.
I mean, no doubt Mark
And they're
Lori will-
brothers, so together they own more.
they really own
Right.
yes.
Mark and Lori will
66.
probably be able to do just fine with it, but I think I would have
Yeah,
gone
I agree
Damon.
with you. All right, anything else before we move on?
I still feel like I was missing out on something in that. They edited something I didn't hear because I didn't quite get it.
In
So,
terms of the business plan?
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
shirts, the plan, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what they
no.
all saw in it.
No, I kind of agree a little bit. All right, so next we've got Tracy and Glenn for $50,000 for 20% sock tabs. What do you guys think about the sock tab?
Okay. Here's the thing
If you gave it
about
to me for
sock
free,
tabs.
I wouldn't wear it.
I know exactly how this was invented. You know the brads that people use on their paper?
Yeah.
Say
They
it
just-
again?
The brads people put in their paper. It's this little brass thing.
What's that?
If you have a 3-hole punch paper,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
you put a brad in there
Oh,
and
yeah,
pinch the
yeah, yeah,
sides. They totally just put this thing in their socks. It's 100% the same exact thing.
So
And that's
true.
fine. And that's totally fine. But I wouldn't buy this.
Neither.
The only reason is because if socks had this built in, then great. But nobody, I don't think there's a lot of people that would grab these and go out of their way to put
I don't
them
like
in their
these little
socks.
things. I lose them. I don't put them in my socks. I don't want them in
What
there.
did you think, Zoe? Did you love
She
them?
loves it. She
Not
loves
until
it.
I love them, and I think
I
they're
love them.
No, I didn't say I didn't love them.
And I think
Their
they're
pitch-
brilliant at marketing because they said they were like cufflinks for your socks. I thought that was the most brilliant thing ever because of course they're not cufflinks for your socks. Who is going to see them? Your socks go like halfway up your leg, right? Like
Right.
no one will see them. But that was so brilliant. I loved them, and I loved they walked in holding hands. This would have been a deal for me that I would invest because I love them, and that's what happened. And I agree. Like sock tabs, would I buy them? Sorry, probably not. But I love these people.
I couldn't
I
believe
love
it when
these
they
people.
I
said
love
that it's
them
also
too.
a fashion statement. It's going to be a new thing. You wear these in
know,
your socks. I'm like,
brilliant.
come
I don't
on.
think it's
just
going to be a
not.
fashion.
Of course
Do
not.
you think? So yeah. So they get no deal eventually. What happens is they get no deal, and then they walk off, and Damon's like, "Wait a minute, I'll give it to you for
Like
30%."
the prince. It's
Yeah.
like the valiant
That
knight
was a
standing up.
sympathy deal.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
because she pulled the brain
100%.
aneurysm
Yeah.
card,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is fine.
Good move.
Yeah,
If
but,
you've been through that, you can use that.
Yeah, that's right. She's so good at marketing.
She's amazing.
That's why
Yeah.
she's good at her
Really
job
good.
doing pharmaceuticals.
She's
yeah.
a survivor. She's not a victim. She gets out there. She
Yeah.
gets it done. So I like that she had a deal. But my thought was that maybe Damon will change this somehow to actually be something that could be cool, and he could license to sock companies that he might know. Or else, what
Yeah,
really is?
I
It
mean,
becomes built into
again,
your sock.
that's what I'm
That's what I'm
thinking.
saying.
If it was built into the sock, I think that game changer, because then people only have to buy one thing. But
I'm not buying this.
I'm not either.
Or would you use it if it was free?
No,
Probably not.
I wouldn't
it'd be
either.
in my drawer.
I don't lose socks. Do you guys lose socks?
I don't.
I do.
I've done it every once in a while.
Probably 6 out of 7 days of the week, I'm wearing 2 different socks
because you've lost
that
the
are not
match?
matched. Nah, I just
Or
don't
you
pair
just
them
don't
to
pay
begin
attention.
with.
Well, there you go.
I just dig in and I find what I find.
This deal's still pending though. His other company has to agree.
Yeah, Bombas.
Which I think he brought up an excellent point, and I want to find out if they did agree because the sock business exists on people buying more socks.
Yeah, and they don't want that.
I thought that was
No,
a
it's-
stretch when you said that.
I don't know.
People buy socks for other reasons, not just because. I mean, I don't lose socks, and I buy socks. I love socks.
I play tennis every day. I go through pairs and pairs and pairs of
Right.
Nike socks, and I lose them all the time. I know it's disgusting.
But where do you lose your
I go
socks?
buy more and more and more and more. I just keep buying. You get like
pig
packs
eats
of
your
12.
socks.
What?
Is the pig eating the socks?
Plenty of times.
Oh, my dog
I
eats
get
my
home.
underwear. If this were.
Wow.
Let me get some tabs on that, just in case. It happens.
You're just
It
leaving
happens.
underwear hanging around and your dog can get.
Maybe I'll just
Your
walk
dog opens it. Your dog just opens the drawer up.
No, if I leave even the clean laundry, if I leave it on the ground,
Go straight for the underwear.
yes, she'll like find it.
I don't know what's
I
happening.
can't believe I just said that.
I love it. You're
It was
loosening up.
it was a breakout
I love
moment.
it.
She's
We've
always been
gotten to
conservative
her.
the whole thing.
We've gotten to
You've
it.
done it. Steph's done it.
It happened. Victory. Next, it's a dude wipe.
Yeah. You're halfway there.
Damn it.
The dog's eating your underwear. You gotta clean up.
You've tried that for 8 weeks to get her to break.
I love it.
And then she's like, I can't believe I said that. It's because of you.
I break them.
I love
I break
it.
them down. You and Ken.
I love it.
You're protege.
Zoe.
So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
What if these things are also small? I see them as a choking hazard for kids too. If you're putting them on your kids' socks,
Oh,
because babies put their feet in their mouth and stuff, right?
oh, interesting, right?
I would not have thought of that.
And my dog.
I don't know if that.
And your dog, and maybe honestly,
The pig would
maybe
choke on
me.
that for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh no, that's a really good
Sometimes
point.
do a
You're right.
somersault.
Do you take people's socks off with your teeth?
No.
Swallow?
I mean, not on a regular
fetish he's got.
basis. But I don't want to, deny myself an opportunity in the
Hey,
future.
man, I'm just saying.
Is all I'm saying.
Well, the tab isn't in the toe.
Right, it's at the top.
Yeah.
Right?
It's in a little bit down.
It depends on
I
the
feel like it's a
technique.
little bit down.
So the whole purpose of this little thing was to keep your socks together.
Yes.
Yes. Because they're married.
I'll just find a
here's the
staple
other thing
pen.
too.
Did you staple them?
Like a little. You had to staple them. Something easier.
Maybe that's how you need to do socks.
Staple them.
I meant to say a safety pin.
You just
where
feet her together all the time. How do you walk with your feet stapled together?
Squish, 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 squish.
You walk like a penguin.
The shoe fits.
But my socks stayed together.
Oh, God.
All right.
Pretty much.
Can we rewind?
Yeah. All right, back
I love it
to...
so much.
Or edit?
Nah.
I just want to go to the satellite.
Editing. I think
I know.
I will try this, though, with the brass
on.
fasteners. At home. I already have these. Whoa!
I don't. You know, I'm really impressed that you knew what that little thing was called. A brad?
A
Who's
brad.
heard of that
Yeah,
before?
no,
Brad.
I'm on board with that.
What
but
is that?
Someone had to buy those, so if you took them from work, fine, but eventually you're going to need more.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's
I'll
a
look it
little,
up
it's
for you,
like
guy.
a brass thing that's
Yeah.
got two things on the back, and you like scripts
Like it goes in
have
a
'em.
script.
You
Yeah.
put them through the things and you fold them over.
Right.
How the hell did you know that name?
I don't know.
It's just it's an office supply.
Yeah. I
don't
love
like
office
it in
supplies.
office. I do like.
Don't you
Here,
love
we'll pull
office
them up.
supplies?
There,
Dave?
People at
so-
home, look up brass fastener.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
They just shoved them
It's
through the
totally what
sock.
it is.
That's what I
Except
was
they made
trying to
them
say
pretty.
instead of stapling it. I was trying to say that, but I didn't
think
know
You
what
were
it
trying to
was.
say safety pin. No, you were trying to say safety
No, it was that. I
pin.
had that in my head as I was saying it.
I'm going to pull this up for the
The
people
only
at
other
home.
thing is,
Brad fastener.
do you
Brad
think that would
fastener.
leave big gaps in your sock? I mean, those are that's pretty thick. So, are their sock tabs thinner so they don't ruin your socks?
That's a good
I
question.
mean, that's-
Interesting.
That's a good question. And also,
Why are they just not magnetic?
But no, the washing machine I think would pull it apart. That would have to be
Or
a
it
strong
would stick to
magnet.
this. It would stick to the side of the washing machine because they're all metal.
Oh, the socks. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Sounds a swing and a miss. It happens to the best
You
of
want your
us.
dog to eat a magnet? That'd be a good
And
trick.
you would have trouble taking them on airplanes. You're not supposed to take magnets on planes.
I didn't know that.
I
Yeah.
can't believe Damon didn't think of all this.
Yeah, I know. He should have asked. I'm surprised he didn't say that's a Brad. That's a Brad
They
fastener.
were highly
surprised.
How did they
that
not
too.
think of that? Yeah.
It's crazy.
Saying.
Yeah.
interesting invention.
Damon did go
Damon
in.
just liked them.
He
Yeah.
did.
He likes them.
And see, that's
all
the
it was.
difference. You got Tracy and Glenn with a freaking sock tab, and then you got
Perfect
John
example.
Yeah.
with Bubble Soccer not getting,
Oh, he was the used car
Perfect
salesman.
example.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
the guy that won Used Car Salesman of the Year award in like 2009 or something. You know?
I mean, these people came in playing with the puppets. They weren't wearing the shiny suit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It started out that as good as their sales pitch was and as great as they were at marketing, I didn't think the sock puppet thing was the best opener. But then I did love how they worked in their sob stories about like, we grew up on the lower south side
Yeah.
of Chicago and no one else has been to college. It was like they smoothly got it in there of why
the
they
brain
should be
aneurysm was a big
invested.
one. I didn't know people survived those. I thought
One of
that was
my best
automatic
friends did.
death.
On occasion.
One of my
Last-ditch
best friends
effort.
did. Had
Really?
a brain aneurysm, yeah. And she in New York, and she was thankfully lived like 4 blocks from NYU, and they got her right in, and she had surgery.
And there's
She's-
no way to know you're going to have them. I could have one right now. Is it
no
like
way
that?
to know.
God forbid.
God,
Yeah,
that's freaky.
yeah, it's super freaky, but she's totally survived. Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah. All right, sweet. Well, is there anything else that we want to talk about before we wrap up our show?
I think that's about
Maybe they want to
it.
send us some sock tabs
I want to see
test.
the real power of Shark Tank. This will be a test, these sock tabs.
How
Because if
they
they
do.
sell like hotcakes
Yeah.
and something
They
just
might.
If
so...
by this
they
time
might.
next year I want sock tabs, someone turn me.
I mean, if we hear the update and see they're doing
doing
$2 million a year in sales, I'll just be like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to invent anything and bring it into Shark Tank.
But you
Yeah.
have to be likable. That's the key.
I'm going to invent paper
am I not
clips.
likable?
I didn't say that. I'm just
You
saying
know
the
what?
key is
Paper clips for your shoelaces or something.
That might work.
Shoe tabs. Just saying.
Yeah.
when
Paint
you
'em
take
up,
your
cut 'em.
shoelaces out, though. You need a better
On
story.
occasion. Just in case.
You need a better story.
Okay, well, we'll figure something
Work
out.
on that one.
We have time.
We've
figure
got
it
time.
out. We'll figure it out.
All right. Well, then, until I don't know what's going on in there, but until next time, where can the people find you, Guy?
Twitter and Instagram, Guy David 86.
Zoe Hewitt, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Zoe Said What. That's ZOE Said What.
Cameron Lewis at the only camshaft Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to this podcast and iTunes. Rate it, comment. 5 stars, Stef Z.
You guys can find me at IAMSTEFZ. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
I've got a lot of
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.